Hi, welcome to Monterey's Cooking. John Pisto, talking with John McCormick and Kent Torrey. We're at the cheese shop in Carmel Plaza. John, you've been here for a long time, haven't you?
Over 22
My
years.
God, I've known you a long
time.
too. I mean, whenever folks, I want cheese, and I mean real cheese. I'm not talking about the phony stuff. I'm talking real cheese. I come here, and boy, your staff is so knowledgeable. Anything we need to match up wines, and if we're doing cooking or whatever, boy, these guys are right on the button. You know, today I want to talk about the classic pasta and cheese. Now, let's go through a bunch of cheeses here. You know, you just don't use Parmesan on cheese. I mean, there's other cheeses that you can use. Let's go beyond the Parmesan. Okay, Parmesan is delicious. I'm not knocking it, but let's do. I mean, you got some stuff over here, and Kent, you got some stuff over here. Let's do some real. Introduce us to some new tastes in cheese.
Certainly, the Parmigiano Romanos are very popular, spicy, a little salty, a little tangy, made of sheep's milk. Locatelli, particularly strong and popular brand. This is a tipico, a typical one from Rome, Romano, that's where it gets its name. Of course, the pepato that we talked about last time with the peppercorns. There are grana that are made throughout the world. They're just grating cheeses. This is a very popular one for us. This is called Swiss Mountain, or it's known as Sprins. Like the Parmigiano, it is fruity, nutty. We like to use this in other things like salads, shred into salads. Another popular one for us is aged Asiago.
Oh, very good. Yeah, this is very popular now.
This is made originally in the town of Asiago. In fact, you've been there, haven't you?
Yep, we have. We were there, and we got a chance to taste all the different cheeses as they age. You know, they serve very soft to being very aged. And very, very interesting.
This one is made in Wisconsin, and it is aged. They make a younger one, but this is their aged Asiago. And there's a lot of restaurants that are using this in pasta, also salads. It's very spicy in a salad. It's shred particularly
good on the
popular.
Caesar.
Yes, yes.
Oh, that's a nice one. That's delicious on pasta. That's a little very different than what we had before. Let's move to this side. And what do we got going over here?
Kent, one of the things we talked about was the blues, too.
Blues, right? When you're doing pasta sauces, you can use a variety of different cheeses. And of course, one of the great Italian cheeses and one of the great blue cheeses in the world is, of course, Gorgonzola.
Oh.
And this is a mountain Gorgonzola. This is a little more special. They actually take the cattle up into the mountain pastures, graze them up there. You have greener, sweeter grass, resulting in sweeter tasting milk. So this tends to be seasonal. This is more what we would call dolce, or sweet. Versus picante, or being sharper. And this is incredible. It's a semi-soft style cheese. It's not as soft as brie, but it's certainly not as hard as, let's say, Roquefort or Stilton. As you can see, I'm scraping this with a knife. This will melt extremely well in...
This is what I've had, you know, Kent, in Nice. We have, they make gnocchi.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe we'll do that. Maybe we're going to do this. We'll do a Gorgonzola. Now, this is a sweet Gorgonzola. There's two kinds. You got to make sure when you're buying Gorgonzola, you buy the one that's sweet, because the other one it's too...
Picante, sharp.
Yeah, too sharp. And they team this up with gnocchi. I tell you, sounds good.
That'll be fun.
That's
we'll like that.
That's delicious.
Take that, melt that in a saucepan, maybe add some mascarpone to help.
Oh, boy.
You're going to have a very rich sauce. Very good sauce.
Oh, that's delicious. Very, very delicious.
The other cheese, of course, this is mascarpone, which is classic cheese used for the great Italian dessert dish of tiramisu, and we do sell this here. That's a great cream sauce.
Good one. Can we talk about some cheeses that go good on pizzas now?
Sure.
Okay?
Sure,
because I know pizzas are another, you know, personally, I don't like the pizzas from most pizza places because the cheeses they use really have no flavor. Let's talk about some classic cheese that goes on a pizza. You know, the 4-station type, you know, the ones they say quattro stagioni. Yes,
sure.
Quattro formaggi. Okay?
Well, in fact, what we just got in, John, is we got some Italian mozzarella.
And this is the real mozzarella. None of this
there in the top.
None of this rubber stuff, folks. So, John, what do you have there now? That's the Italian mozzarella.
Real Italian mozzarella.
This is the cow's milk, though, not
Cow's
the
milk,
buffalo.
Not the buffalo. There is two different ways that you see this sold. One is in the roll, and the other is in called a wet ball.
On the wet ball. Mm-hmm. The whey.
Right, exactly.
Oh, that's got flavor.
Yeah, this is real different from American
wow.
mozzarella.
Tangy, too.
Yeah, yeah.
So, John, the classic 4 cheeses for pizza are the
Taleggio.
Taleggio, and where's, oh, this is the Taleggio.
Taleggio.
Look at this, folks. Can you see this? Look how beautiful this is. Look at that. Just look at that. Just, it's moving.
Very tender cheese.
Let me get you a sample of this one.
Feels good, too.
That's made just outside of Rome, and it's very popular.
Does this come in
Northern
different degrees of softness?
Yes, yes, and different ages for that matter, and that's what would define the hardness or softness of that.
You know, cheese is very sensual. You know, it really is. I mean, it has a nice feeling to it.
Good and fresh.
Yep.
This is has a little bit more of a fresh bread, yeasty, tangy flavor.
Oh, this cheese.
In fact, we're going to put this again on some fresh bread here for you. Good job.
Fresh it.
In fact, when you smell this cheese, you almost get that fresh, doughy, yeasty
Smell the yeast.
quality.
I'll take a little of that.
Absolutely.
Wow, this is tangy.
This is
Isn't that
real,
tasty?
Real Italian cheese, and it's creamy. It will melt well also when you're doing your pasta formaggio.
This is spectacular also in calzone.
Oh,
When
yes.
you make the calzone, this melts just beautifully and carries a little more tang rather than a milder cheese that is frequently used like Jack or mozzarella.
Oh, incredible.
The-
Okay, so we got those.
Got that?
Then we got that.
Little Italian fontina here.
Okay.
That's the second cheese that will be seen in the 4-cheese blend. Fontina is named after a mountain, Montfontaine,
Oh, really? I didn't
in
know that.
northern Italy. Because fontina is made throughout the world, has been copied by the Swedes, the Danes, the Americans, but the Italian is of course, the original.
Wow, that is
Nice and creamy.
Incredible. That's incredible. So that's 3. What's our
That's
4th?
And that's 2. Third would be some Parmigiano Reggiano.
Parmigiano. Okay, that's our.
We've used that.
Already, yeah.
And then you'll see ricotta used.
Wow, ricotta.
And there's actually many different ricottas. Ricotta is a whey cheese. So what's if you make little muffin or curds and whey, you have the whey, and that's aged by just sitting in a form and drying out. What we have here is actually something that's locally made, a little bread, which is a goat's milk ricotta. This is made up in the Santa Cruz Mountains.
That's made by Nancy Gaffney.
Is that right? I'll be darned.
Of course, you could use cow's milk ricotta.
Ricotta is real. Ricotta is from the sheep.
Yes,
Really
absolutely.
is.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. There's not much in
so
the way of
wow.
sheep herding here in the United States, so we'll be stuck with a goat's milk.
Very
Tasty?
good. Oh yeah, very nice. Okay, we've got everything we need, boys. Let's get everything together. Let's take it to the house. We'll cook it up. And before I leave, I want to thank you again, John.
Pleasure.
Kent, really my pleasure, you guys. Boy, you know what? That's got to be my favorite place in the world. Huh? The cheese shop in Carmel. You guys, you're so lucky to be there. Okay, pizzas. We're going to do these real fast. Now, I've already made the dough, and I want to do some real unusual pizza. Now, you know, they say you're never supposed to roll out the dough on pizza. You guys heard that?
No.
No? Yeah, old Italian guy told me that. He says you go like this, you go like this, and then if you're real good, you go like that. But
Start spinning it like
I-
short height here.
I don't think so. We won't do that. Okay, and you stretch. We'll put it in our pizza pan. And you want to leave a little ridge around it. Okay, we're gonna do. See how thin I'm gonna slice this? I mean, this is paper thin. You gotta remember, pizza, the dough is just as important as anything else. Let me give one nice slice. Okay, John, what kind of cheese we're going to be using?
We brought 4 cheeses.
Okay.
Fresh mozzarella.
Okay, fresh mozzarella. Let's try
It's
it.
called a wet ball mozzarella.
Wet the ball. Now, this is not the buffalo.
Not buffalo, it's cow's milk.
Now, where'd the buffaloes come from in Italy?
Is that a question?
That's the question.
Water buffalo.
Water
They're
buffalo.
from northern Italy
For
centuries, actually. And certainly the fresh mozzarella gives the creaminess to the dish.
okay.
There's some Italian fontina right here.
Fontina,
That's
this
from
is
the
the real
Aosta
stuff.
Valley in northern Italy.
Boy.
Farm made.
Oh God.
And we have some ricotta salata right
Oh,
there. That's a
geez.
fresh ricotta. That is a little firmer, made of sheep's milk. Lots of cheese here. And then we have a 4 cheese, which is taleggio, very creamy, used in a lot of cooking
look
in
at this.
Italy.
Yep.
It's used in calzones and rice dishes a lot of times. So when they do the layered with the polenta, they'll do the taleggio in with that when they bake it.
Oh my God.
That
sounds
copious amounts of cheese.
incredible. Well, this is a cheese lover's pizza, and we got some basil that we'll do real quick. And this is the way we do the basil. And I think that'll work really nice.
That's a nice little trick there, rolling that like that.
And a little pepper. And a little bit of olive oil. And I think that's it, huh, John?
That
What do you
looks
think?
good to me.
Boys?
Perfect.
Okay, in she goes. And when we come back, I'm going to make more pizzas. Okay, we're going to do 2 more pizzas. You got to make sure, I know this is probably in your way, but we got to make sure that dough is proofed a lot, because that seems to make the best. And you keep stretching it. Now, this is the real unusual pizza. And who said pizza has to be round, folks? Okay? Now, you're going to say this guy's probably crazy. And it's true, I am.
What do you got there, John?
These are sage, fresh sage, raisins, and grapes. And they've been marinating in port wine. And we're going to put a little bit of Reggiano on top, like this. That's the one.
Okay. And that's
Dessert pizza.
Dessert pizza.
And you know, a guy showed me this, a guy by the name of William in Santa Cruz. And we said, well, this guy is out of his mind. But you know what? It was absolutely delicious. Okay, and this is going to be for our salmon with creme fraiche. And we're just going to put, you know, I like the pizzas when they're uneven and not perfect looking. You know what I mean?
More
bumpy.
more country style.
Yeah, real rustic look, you know?
Yeah.
Look at that. That's gorgeous. We're going to let these cook, and when we come back, we're going to taste them. Well, what do you think? I think the pizzas are done. I can smell them. It's smelling up this whole room. The port wine, the grapes, I mean, holy, well, folks, you're not going to believe this. You are not going to believe this.
Smells awfully good.
You know what? Those cheeses are absolutely incredible.
Oh, look at the dessert pizza.
Not bad. Oh, look at that. Whoa.
That's a work of art.
And you know the best part is right here, too, huh, John?
Yes.
Oh,
That
Get
is-
all that
that is-
flavor.
That is an extra cheese order on that one.
Now, I mean, this is absolutely... Okay, now, what do we got here?
Got creme fraiche, which you're
Okay.
going to do with the salmon pizza. And creme fraiche is a cultured cream. And unlike sour cream, this is something that takes Sadie Kendall down in Tascadero longer to make. But it won't curdle. You can actually cook with this if you want to do the fettuccine Alfredo with this sauce.
Real nice with sauces.
You can cook it up, bring it up to a boil, and it won't curdle. And again, just a little Reggiano and the creme fraiche on pasta. Perfect.
Wow. And this is domestic. It's made
This
here.
is made, yeah.
Tascadero
Okay.
And
Sounds nice, huh?
Sadie Kendall is so popular with it, she can't even make any other cheeses.
See how that
Is that
melted
right?
real nice
Yeah,
and
oh,
smooth
it's
over there?
gorgeous. Just absolutely gorgeous.
Very fresh.
In
Nice
Italy,
tangy.
the equivalent would be used as mascarpone, which is a little thicker than that, a
Touch
little sweeter than that. But this is more of its origin is French.
Now, you know what this is, don't you, folks? This is smoked
Beautiful.
salmon. You know, what's nice is we're using a lot of local things here. You know, this. You know, everyone knows Andre. He's got smoked salmon here in Carmel Valley. Andre, you do a hell of a job. Look at that. Gee. Look at this.
Beautiful.
God, look at this. And it's okay if it hangs over, you know?
Absolutely.
So we got a little salmon. Let's put a little pepper. Oh boy, a lot of pepper actually. And then I got some chives right out of my yard. In fact, it might even have a bug on them. I'm gonna check them.
It's okay. It's extra protein.
That's all. They move fast once they hit that hot cheese over.
Yeah. It's an Australian grub. That should be your next trip.
Well, I tell you, we did do some grubs in China, but that's a whole other story, folks. Push it down a little bit. Well, let's see.
ready.
We got that. I know this looks okay. We got a little bit of this this juice. You know what else I'm gonna do? And we're just got some of that nice. I want to give this a little bit of pepper. And what do you think? A little creme fraiche on that, or should we not touch simplicity?
We could use it as a side.
Okay, we'll put it on the side. That's good. We'll try it, folks. And here you have it. 3 very unusual cheeses, very unusual pizzas made with some different cheeses that you probably haven't heard of before. But very easy, done at home. All you gotta do is have someone make the pizza dough for you, and it's easy to do. But here you are. Hope you enjoy them, because we are. Well, you know, I thought we'd really show everybody what it is to do a real cheese and wine tasting. Now, the first thing that you have to be is, number one, you have to like wines, you have to like cheese. But it also helps to have an owner of a cheese store and a guy that has about 3 or 4 cellars to have a good tasting of wines and cheeses. And then you have to have some good friends, like our friends Miles, and of course John and Kent, and our friend George from New Orleans, George Rodrigue. And we got some ladies around here too. But you know, this is kind of like the kickoff for the man's thing. Okay, I mean, we're drinking some incredible, beautiful, beautiful red wines. We're starting off with the nice Kalen Chardonnay from Sonoma, and we're just going to be tasting now. Boys, give us a quick or a slow description of the cheese. I mean, look at and let me tell you something. The peaches are prime right now. They come from our cameraman, our producer's own garden up in the Central Valley. And I mean, everything is prime right now. Everything is ripe to perfection. John, take it.
Well, thank you. It's Monterey, and it's the best. We have quite a selection of cheeses. Certainly the country that makes the most famous and the largest number of cheeses is France, and that's the one that's most represented here. We have some wonderful cheeses. This is a triple creme called Pierre Robert. This is cow's milk. This is a chèvre, goat's milk cheese called Le Pied de Fou. This is a chèvre with sun-dried tomatoes, a real authentic raw milk camembert, Chatelaine. This is a soft-ripened sheep's milk, extremely rare, produced in France as well, in the Pyrenees Mountains.
Right.
And then we have cheese which is extremely rare. This is sheep's milk also. This is herbs, peppers on the outside. It is called Brand d'Amour, the hug of love, which is one of the most great names in the cheese business. And then this is Picou. This is a soft and goat's milk cheese. Some hard cheeses you might remember from earlier. This is Ubriaco.
Ubriaco. That's a drunken.
The drunken cheese.
I'm not quite there.
That's Italian cheese. Not yet.
Drunken cheese.
Ubriaco.
So that one is aged in the grape must. Montagnolo, a blue from Germany, and an extra aged Gouda. Of course, this we used in some of our cooking, Reggiano, Papato, a Danish blue, and a hard Swiss cheese.
Now let's talk. Let me talk about the breads. Cheese without good bread is sacrilegious. You have to have good cheese, good bread with the cheeses. Luckily, in Monterey, we have 3, I think, what are considered the best bread bakeries. I think Palermo is number 1, and you see all these nice selections of breads that he's done over here with the sesame seeds. These boys are coming from south of Italy, or actually Sicily, and he's doing a lot of real traditional Sicilian bread. You know, the ciabatta, which is called the slipper. You know, this looks like a slipper. I've never seen one like it, but This looks like a slipper.
Bigfoot, so.
Bigfoot, big. They got big feet in Sicily, let me tell you. Okay, then we got El Fornaio, who's just opened, and they're doing these beautiful bread. Look at this with raisins. This thing weighs a ton. Look at it. Just gorgeous.
Very coarse.
Really, really country style stuff. And then we have, for the real French influence, we have Paris Bakery that does these beautiful baguettes. So, you know, you have to have everything together. You have to have the cheese, you have to have the wine, you have to have the bread, and you have to have the people to enjoy it and the good friends to enjoy it. Otherwise, you know, it's nothing. So, you know, I think we should all start giving this a little taste, and we can maybe discuss and see which ones. Now, should we start with a certain cheese? Start with the lighter cheeses first and probably work up to
Certainly
the
starting
monsters,
with the
right?
Chardonnay, because the Chardonnay is so elegant, nutty. I'd love that Reggiano, Parmigiano Reggiano with it because of that nuttiness and the sweet oakiness and the sweet fruit flavor of the Reggiano. Once we get into the red wines, then they're all for taking because they're all real flavorful cheeses.
I think a lot of people forget that you really should just try it yourself because everybody has their own taste, and some
That's
cheeses
nice.
and foods and wines are going to work together, and you should never rule anything out.
Yeah.
Always be willing to try them. You know, once, twice, a third time. You've got some fun combinations here.